And you're live.
We're here. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Colleen O'Brien. This is Keryn Lee. We are Two Unholy Healers, and we're here again for another fun and exciting episode. This is, we didn't say this in the green room, but I think this is episode 8. I think we've been doing this for like 16 weeks now. It's been like 4 months.
That is awesome. Awesome.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my goodness. And this has been so much fun. Like we've just, the time has flown, hasn't it?
It really has. And gosh, so much has changed for us over that time. We're both published authors now, which is super, super exciting. And then of course the changing in the seasons, right? Like you guys are coming into spring. We're finishing up our summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's been great. Hello, thank you for joining us. We see somebody's watching. Thanks for being here. So let's get into our topic for today, which is genetic and ancestor healing. This is something that's really, really near and dear to my heart. It is so much fun. And it's one of the things that we can do in Theta Healing. And it was kind of this bonus that I didn't even know was part of Theta Healing when, hello, Catherine. Thank you so much. It's, I personally have done a great deal of family tree research. Genealogy is what it's called. And I've been doing it for almost 20 years. So when I found out that one of the things you could do with Theta Healing is talk to your ancestors and do, healings for your family line, I was all over it. I was like, wow, because I really feel like I know these people, right? It's not just on paper, the dates that you get for their birth, marriage, and death. Like I know a little bit about the historical context. Sometimes you find stories out about them and stuff. And this really just takes that experience to a whole other level for me. And I'm sure Keryn can tell you stories of how some of my ancestors show up.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's been one of the fun things, because if you're with, someone who doesn't know anything about their family tree or anything, you say, okay, I'm tuning into an ancestor 3 generations back on your mum's side, and you're getting this information coming through, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Like you could be telling them anything really, except for the fact that quite often they will say something that resonates with that person, like a wording that they might have used or something that they recognize or have heard. So that may happen. But what I've loved with working with Colleen is when I'll tune into one of these ancestors, she'll say, oh yes, that's great grandfather Joe or whatever his name is, and she will know and have information about him. And that is really cool, because we have a lot of fun sort of getting information and then sharing what she knows through the genealogy, etc. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
And I am remembering one occasion, this was actually in a class, the world relations class, because you do dig into a lot of genetic and history level beliefs in that class. And an ancestor came up and I was blocked from being able to view her name, and it was frustrating me. And I'm like, I know this woman, like who? And I just couldn't get it. And I realized later that it would have been a distraction, that I had too much information about this person. And so it caused me to focus on, okay, what is that belief? Rather than going into, she lived here and this is the historical context, and then she married this guy, and because that was all just, brain candy for that particular healing. So you can kind of go down some rabbit holes if you know too much. But you're right, a lot of people that I work with don't know that much about their family history, or can only go back so far, right? Like I'm the exception to the rule in that sometimes I can name 10 generations back and do it in my head. So yeah, I can't do that with all branches of my tree, but some of them I've been lucky enough to be able to trace it that way. But some people, they only know their grandparents, or they only might have stories about their grandparents, or might not even know their parents that well, right? But this is still a framework that you can do that, right? It's a little weird. I don't know if this comes up for you, Keryn, or not, when friends of mine, who aren't necessarily in that healing space, will like be like, wait, you, Catherine said, oh, I got to share this. I'm sorry, Catherine. But Catherine says, I wish I had that much room in my head for being able to know your family tree up to 10 generations back. Well, I mean, it talk to any genealogist, right? Like, you really do intimately get to know your ancestors that way, particularly when you're researching stuff and looking for stuff that's really hard to find. So it's not so much that I'm memorizing it. It's just that I've spent so much time with them. I mean, then they already are a part of me. But that is a unique thing when I talk to other people who are into genealogy and doing family tree research. We all talk about our dead relatives in the same way as if they're still alive, and they all are living in our head.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you for that, Catherine. That's brilliant. So what I was saying was with when I talk to people who are a little bit outside of the healing space, and they're like, wait, so you talk to dead people? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not reenacting the movie The Sixth Sense, right? Like, but yeah, essentially I am. And a lot of them are really kind of more familiar with, the sensational types of healers who get the TV shows, who are like, oh, they've got a whole room full of people. They're trying to read the audience and find stuff. And this is not that at all. This is very personal, and can get, we get validation an awful lot of times, right? When somebody's personality comes through or their energy comes through, and as Keryn had said too, like, I'll be like, oh, that's that person, or what, the person that you're reading knows right away who's coming through.
Yeah. And I think what's important to this too is what you sort of said before, but I want to expand on that. It's like, that person's only going to come through if it's relevant to the healing that you're doing, if they are required to help that person move forward or transform energy in some way, because otherwise it's just excess baggage. It's information that is not needed in that session. So when that comes through, you have to trust that, and also recognize that at some level that ancestor is actually ready to heal or let go of whatever it is they've got going on. So quite often I'll ask to go back to the original point where something was created, and an ancestor might come through, and it's like, okay, something happened in that ancestor's life. It's caused them to hold on to this energy, and for some reason it's like they're sending it down through the line, and what happens is they are trying to protect the family, or they've taken on this belief, that it's not safe to to do something. It's not safe to be fully open and be in love or something like that. So they kind of hold on to that energy, and that just is like a thread that goes through that family line. And then you end up with someone in your healing session that says, I just can't seem to have good connections in my relationships or something. You go back to the point where that originates. Okay, this is ancestor XYZ. And if you can clear that energy where it was created, then that it can actually be released in the person you're working with. And I think one of the things that I feel is important is to always ask permission of that ancestor, like, would you like to clear that energy? And sometimes they'll say no, because their perspective is still back in the time that they were in. And so what I would do with that is either kind of explain to them, hey, this is a different time, or also to just download that they have creator's perspective of the situation. That is a really great way to save sort of long conversations. It's like, let's just give them creator's perspective, and then it kind of opens up the energy for them, and then 99% of the time they'll be willing to release that energy, and occasionally something else might need to be tweaked as well. But once they're willing to clear it, then it can be released through the whole family line. So, and that can happen quite quickly, and it is very freeing for them and for your client as well.
Yeah. And two things that I wanted to add to that. One, you don't necessarily need to know who this ancestor is, or even how far back it is, right? Because you're connecting to the energy, right? And we're connected physically to them through the DNA, because that's kind of how biology as humans, we all work here on the third plane, but energetically, right? That thread, that energy, that belief is coming through. But a lot of times when you talk to that ancestor and you're like, all right, like, let me give you, let me offer you creator's perspective, or, let me show you, time, because time works differently on the different planes. And, they still kind of have the perspective of when they were here on Earth, and they're not on Earth anymore. We're like, hey, you know what? Like, let me bring you up to speed. Like, things are a little different now. So, that's what I call the light bulb moment, because sometimes I will literally get that, like that energy of like, oh, I get it now. Like something clicks. But saying it's a light bulb moment, if I tell it to somebody who's from like the 1700s, they don't know what light bulbs are. Like, so,
yeah,
like what is that? That candlelight moment? I don't know, but it's really, it can be really quite healing to be able to give them that perspective and allow them to let go of that energy. Right. Sometimes the analogy I use is, they're holding on to this because they think it's a gift.
Yeah.
And we've all had those Christmases where we open up a gift from some relative who thinks it's just the best thing. And you're like, oh, thank you. Right. And you're just like, this is so not what I wanted, but I've got to be grateful because everybody's here and that's what I have to do. So, it's sometimes those beliefs that get passed down are kind of like that. They think, oh, this is the best thing. Like, I really love this. I'm giving you this heirloom. And you're like, this is ugly. Where can I hide this in my house so that I don't have to see it all the time? And then I can find it when you come over to visit. So it like has a place of honor and you can see that I appreciate you. So sometimes the beliefs are like that. They're crap for you, but the family really thinks it's a blessing. Yeah. And so, having to negotiate those perspectives of how is it serving the family now in this time-space reality and still honoring the contribution that the past generations have offered, because we wouldn't be here without them, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, that's how biology works. So we can be grateful and honor their contribution, without making them feel like we're just tossing all of their life experience away. And that can be really, really important to acknowledge when you're talking to these ancestors.
Absolutely. And to recognize that a lot of them lived in very harsh conditions and they survived. They did these things to survive. And so they feel that, like you said, it's a gift to pass this wisdom on about how to survive. Because it worked for them doesn't mean that we need it now or that it's going to work for us. In fact, quite often it's a hindrance. So, you have to really look at all that. Now, the other thing that we wanted to talk about today was in terms of the genetics. And this is one of the great things with theta healing, is because it actually works at a DNA level. We actually have those very, very deep changes. So when we, I've had people come in who have some sort of genetic illness and a sense of, they've been told that this is it. You have to put up with this. You can't change this. You have a genetic illness. And it's like, boom, boom, that's the end of the road. Dead end. Sorry, you can't go any further. That's it. And they have this real sort of depleted energy because they don't see a different possibility. And the beautiful thing with theta healing and potentially other modalities as well, some modalities, excuse me, totally losing my voice today. I did too much talking last night. We had one of the classes on, so lots of talking.
Yes. I heard great things about that class. It sounded like it was a really, really fun time. So yes. So anybody who's listening, next time Keryn's got a class, be sure you have it on your short list. So
awesome. Thank you. One of the cool things about the theta healing is the ability to change stuff at a genetic level. Now, we know these days with epigenetics that the DNA responds to the environment of the cell. So it responds to our thoughts and beliefs. It responds to everything going on. It responds to the energy that you brought up in, like all of that, like the gene may be there, but it's only going to be turned on or activated if it is has that environment that triggers it, for, let's say. So the same works if you have that energy that's been triggered and you want to turn it off. You can absolutely change whatever is happening at a genetic level. And for a genetic illness, you know, once again, like we were saying before, go back. Where did it originate? Why did that happen? Why did that ancestor take that on? And is it actually still needed in your family line? And how can we change that? So, you know, once again, it's working at that molecular level to create that change.
Yeah. And because you're right, inherited diseases, people are like, oh, like that's it, like it's set in stone.
Exactly.
And the reality is that life itself, biology, genes, it's all very adaptable, all very mutable, and all very changeable. And so many of us have been trained and indoctrinated by this reality that the reality is a certain way, and this is all there is. And the truth is, we are way, way, way more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. And being able to take back that power and to create our world, our bodies, any sort of experience that we have here on the planet for ourselves, rather than just accepting it the way that it is really quite amazing. And I think ultimately that's why a lot of people come to these quote unquote alternative healing modalities, is because they feel let down by doing it the way everybody else has been doing it the way that they've been taught to do it. You know, finding that, you know, there's got to be something more. And there is. The great thing is there is. And the limit is only really you.
Yeah. Everything's energy. Energy can be changed, and it's only our own points of view and perspectives that limit that, and how much we're willing to receive. And, you know, we may have spoken about this before, but you have to also look at, how is the illness serving you? What are you getting out of it? And what other way can you get that need met that doesn't require you to be ill? And, you know, that type of thing. And also, what else do you want to create in your life? What else is possible for you in your life beyond that illness? And if someone's ready to let go of all of that and step into something greater, then absolute healing is possible.
Yeah. And you could, knowing this, you could even do this preemptively, right? If you know that you are, the probability of your inheriting a disease is pretty high, or you already know whether it's, you know, a statistically inherited or a genetic disease, or, you know, coded that particular way, but you have somebody in your family who has that behavior, who has those symptoms, you can work on yourself for those beliefs and those predispositions, and preemptively you know, change your energy before it starts showing up in your physical body.
Exactly.
You know, because take the warning signs from your family so that you don't have to have your body be the thing that's screaming and getting your attention in order to heal yourself. You know, I found when, you know, the Theta Healing Diseases and Disorders book, which I actually happen to have right over here. If I lean out of frame really brilliantly.
I just have a copy here.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was just looking at it the other day. But, you know, there's a number of different, you know, beliefs and different diseases, and it's all based on, you know, Vianna Steibel, the founder of Theta Healing, you know, diseases that she had worked on with particular clients. And, you know, so two of the things that I looked at, one was alcoholism, because I do, again, with family tree research, you kind of find out like, oh, wow, it's not just the people that were, you know, contemporary to me that necessarily had this predisposition. And then also arthritis, because I do have, you know, mostly male members in the family who have arthritis. But with arthritis in particular, I remember reading the beliefs in the book, and I was like, wow, this is so my grandfather. And then I read them again, and I was like, and this is 80% me.
Reality check.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like, and again, it makes sense, right? Like, I've been growing up in that environment. That was just the norm, and I was like, wow, okay. Like, I don't really want to wait until my joints get all, difficult to handle things and be in pain for me to have to deal with this. What can I shift now? And, a lot of that is about like rigid thinking and having to be right and all that other stuff. So it was really freeing to be able to see that and to work on myself. And so what a gift that the illnesses of my family were to me before I even exhibited symptoms of being sick.
Yes, exactly. And for people who don't have that genetic or genealogy information on their family, there are things like iridology, and I think it's Vegas testing or something like that, like those biometric testings they do, where they can say, you are predisposed to certain things. I remember having that done some years back, and they told me that I have my circulatory system has a weakness. Like there's a potential for me to have circulatory issues. And so, like you said, that was something that I just worked through the book in terms of blood circulation, all that sort of thing, to preempt any issues with that. So if you know that there are some potential weaknesses in your family, or through some sort of testing that gives you that information, you can definitely preempt that and create some change before anything actually causes a problem.
Yeah, use it to your advantage, because even if your family shows up in a way that you think, wow, like this sucked, right? Like this is not how I wanted it to show up. This is not what I really think love really ought to be. They were trying their best from where they came from and what they had to offer. And when you can accept your family as they are, whether they're here in this physical life in physical bodies now or have passed on, being able to see them from creator's perspective, and then being able to allow yourself to heal and offer that healing to them, can be so transformational for you, for them, and for the generations to come. And it's not just, your direct ancestors, it's collateral as well. Your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your siblings. And ultimately it's everybody, because you go far enough back, we're all related.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting how some families express certain tendencies and other families will express other tendencies. But it's fascinating when you take it right back to those, the original source energy. From my perspective, then we start tuning into the energetics of the angelic realms, us as sort of angelic beings, and why we came here in the first place, and what we like, those soul families, and what each soul family was expressing. And you can go way down the rabbit hole with all of that.
That's like a whole other topic, right? Soul family and the fifth plane, and which fascinating. But we are at about time, so I think that's great. We'll have to save that for another time. Oh, okay.
Let's. We just got a comment.
Yes, we did get a comment. Thank you, Tanya. It says Taya. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I added an extra letter to your name. Forgive me, Taya. That is not your name. Taya is your name. So thank you for your comment. And your comment is, does family history of breast cancer, etc., fall into this category? I would say absolutely. You get to choose. Right? Like, ultimately, before we were incarnated, right, we chose this family, but you get to choose whether or not you will, because sometimes, cancer is a gift. It allows you to have an experience. And anything you're experiencing, whether it's an illness, whether it's a situation like a, financial crisis, an accident, there is something that subconsciously you are gaining from that experience. And so once you are able to acknowledge and give voice to and consciously know, okay, what is the gift here? What am I getting out of this? Like, how is this serving me? Then you can, as Keryn had so eloquently said earlier in the podcast, you can find out a way that you can have that energy, have that how did you even say it? Like the thing that serves you, get that situation without having to create a disease like a breast cancer or the illness or anything to get that. So yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, there are so many beliefs around inherited diseases, and there's so much press around breast cancer as well that focuses so much in the collective consciousness about whether or not it's curable, and what are so a lot of that, there's a lot of energy in the collective too that may be affecting an individual who has that
around
disease.
Cancer. Like that is just such a big there's a collective consciousness around that is massive, because it's just so predominant, so worldwide, so much talked about. It's just, there's a huge energy around it. And thank you, Karen, Catherine, who says, yes, my cancer was indeed a gift. So you have to look at all the different aspects of it. Like you said, Colleen, what are you getting out of it? What are you learning from this? Is there another way that you could actually learn that? Or is it can you complete that lesson now? This is stuff we do with Theta Healing. We ask creators to complete the lessons. You don't have to keep continuing. Can you, like I have a client who has cancer, and she is consciously choosing to continue her journey really for her family. She says, I know that I can let go of this now, but she says, my family need to see this play out. So instead of just instantly curing everything for her, we work on creating ease in her body. We work on her being pain-free. We work on her still functioning as best we can. We work on her mindset and what she wants to create for her future beyond the expectations of her family. So we work on a whole lot of other stuff in a way that's going to serve her, and that's the important thing. Not everybody wants to heal, but that doesn't mean that they can't improve their condition in some way. But if you have someone that is willing to let go of that whole consciousness around cancer and say, yep, I'm done, I want to move beyond this, then that is definitely possible as well.
Yes, brilliantly said. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Taya. I love that we have people who show up and offer contributions in the comments. It makes this show so much more amazing. Thank you. So is there anything else, Keryn, that you wanted to add before we?
No, I feel like that we're pretty complete. We're actually not too far over time, which is great, because we do tend to yabble on a little bit, which is well, fine. But
and little secret, guys, Keryn and I are going to keep talking once the show is over.
We'll be talking for hours yet.
So sorry, you don't get to eavesdrop on that. But
another day, because what's our next topic, Colleen?
Our next topic is it's not about the food. We're going to talk about the energy of food, all that beliefs around food, what's healthy, what's not. There's so much stuff about the food, and ultimately it's not about the food.
Yes, so and this is really interesting that we said today, okay, what's our next topic going to be? And Colleen came up with this topic, and I said that is fascinating, because last night I just did the hidden truths about eating disorders subject, and basically that's all about. It's not about the food. So we're going to do a little blurb, like a small little 20-minute podcast.
We promise it's only going to be 20 minutes.
20 plus minutes podcast about this topic, just so that everyone can jump in and have a bit of a listen to that, because it is a really interesting topic. So that will be on the 26th.
The 26th in Australia of August, evening of the 25th, here where I am in the United States. Yes, and Catherine was in that class about the eating disorders, and she said last night was Catherine. Awesome. So Keryn, is that class going to be available? Is the recording going to be available?
It will be in about a week. I will have it all up on my website, kerynlee.com.au. If you go into the shop, there's all of the online classes that I've done that are available after they've been after the class has been. You can purchase the recordings, and so that'd be great.
Perfect.
Would like to jump in.
Yes.
And Colleen, what have you got coming up? What's next on the?
What's next for me? I have a Theta Healing Dig Deeper class coming up in 2 weekends. So it is going to be August 21st and 22nd, Eastern Daylight Time. So, you know, if you're in Australia, that's probably going to be in the middle of the night for you guys. But if you're in Europe, it's perfect because it's an evening class if you're in Europe. So I have plenty of spots open and available, and I love the Dig Deeper class. It's so much fun. You know, it's 2 days of healing for yourself. It's a great way to practice. It's one of the classes that I continue to come back to and take over and over again. So if you want to recertify, you are more than welcome to join us. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And then next month, I have a basic class coming up. So if you wanted to take a basic Theta Healing class with me or recertify for that, that's coming up next month in September. So Keryn, I know you've got a basic class coming up sooner than that for in Australia.
This weekend, yes. If you're in Australia, this is not an online class. You need to be here. And so you need to be pretty quick if you want to jump into that one. But after the basic, I will be rolling out the advanced, the Dig Deeper, You and Creator, and not this coming weekend, the one after. I'm actually doing my training for the Manifesting in Abundance. So that will be later in the year as well. So if you're in Adelaide and you would like to attend any of them, or anywhere in Australia really, and you want to come over and do those classes with me, jump onto the kerynlee.com.au website. I also would like to just quickly share once again my book, Secret Healers Business, is available. Now, if you go to secrethealersbusiness.com, this is my new website. It has just been put up online. I'm still tweaking a little bit. But if you go there, you can learn about the book. You can get a copy of the book either from me if you would like a signed copy, or there's outlets where you can buy it. Plus, and this is the first time sort of mentioning this anywhere, there is a Secret Healers Business workshop that is coming up in September, end of September. And there is also a Secret Healers Business VIP coaching program. So you can read all about that on the website. And I'm going to be sharing more about that as time goes on, because I'm very excited. The Secret Healers Business Workshop is, or the masterclass as I'm calling it now, originally was called Being a Healer, and it was a one-day class. It has now expanded and grown and been revamped into the Secret Healers Business Masterclass. And I'm super excited. Now, for those of you not in Australia, there will be an online version of this class in November. So you can go to the website now, you can get the details, and you can sign up either for the in-person or the online class. So, yeah, pop over there and check out all the details.
Brilliant. Yes. And for those of you in the US, Secret Healers Business it's available worldwide, really. So feel free to pick it up. And yes. I think I saw on Amazon, at least earlier this afternoon, the ebook was only $2.99. So if you want it, and that's set by the publisher too. So but really, honestly, I have read this book at any price is a bargain. So go buy it. Keryn's brilliant. There's so many little nuggets and tidbits there. You'll read it again and again, and something new you will glean from it. So yeah, absolutely. I highly encourage you to buy the book from wherever books are sold. Like, that is one of the great things about having it published by a big publishing house, is that it's everywhere. So you get to pick your favorite retailer and can grab a copy. So yeah, brilliant. Congratulations again on the new book.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, that's us for today. Thank you so much for being here. We will let everyone know about the next podcast in the Facebook group. And gratitude for all your comments and questions. We send you lots of love, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.